Welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit like, follow, or subscribe on the platform that you're listening to us on. You can also check out my work at the loudest.com on the planet, KNAC.com, for exclusive hard rock and heavy metal interviews, live show coverage, album reviews, and more. My guest for episode 214 is guitarist KALLE WALLNER of the German progressive rock act, Blind Ego. Blind Ego are set to release their fifth album on October 18th, entitled The Hunting Party, through the Gentle Art of Music. And here's KALLE to tell you more about it. If I knew absolutely nothing about Blind Ego, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Well, I think it's, for me, it's just rock music, if you want so, because that is how I grew up musically. My musical roots are in the 80s. I listened to all the hard rock, heavy metal stuff. Then I changed a little bit to the more complicated music, like the more progressive music. You know, bands like Rush and Yes, especially 70s music. But you know, the first love will be always your first love, and so I had, you know, that I have a main band called RPWL, another strange name maybe for somebody who never heard it before. And I had many songs I hadn't the chance to bring on on my main band's album, on the RPWL albums. They were a bit too rocky, or we already had two ballads on an album, you know. And so that was the idea already in 2006 and 2007 to launch a solo project, if you want so. So I had the chance to work not only on songs that I write together with my long-year friend and colleague Yogi Lang from RPWL. So I had the chance to make all the melodies. I had the chance to have more influence on the lyrics. And especially I could work with different musicians. That was my own challenge. You know, it's always something very refreshing to work with different musicians, different people who bring new input. And so that was the idea in the beginning. And so in the meanwhile, this is my fifth studio album, and so I hadn't the chance to work too hard on it. But whenever I had enough time and had the muse to write songs for this project, maybe I had the chance to do another album. And so we are here. It's another new singer. The lineup is always a bit different, and the hunting party. And you know, I'm quite happy to have to could complete this in a time of my main band.
So we're talking about the album, The Hunting Party. It comes out on October 18th through the Gentle Art of Music and Soul Food. One thing I noticed is that you use an outside lyricist. You use DOMINIK FEINER to work with the lyricist. I've seen some bands do this. Is this someone that you go to on a regular basis, or are you guys just hooking up for this album for the first time?
To be honest, I was always more interested in the music than in the lyric side. And but for the latest albums, or for the first solo albums, I did all the lyrics by myself in the first stadium. But DOMINIK is a long-year friend of mine, and he's also a musician, also somebody, he's more interested in lyrics than me, but I think we have the same taste. We have the same ideas how lyrics could work. You know, there should be enough place to interpret your own thoughts into the song. You have more, you can think very big, you can think very personal, very privately. And so DOMINIK helped me already for the lyrics of my last Blind Ego albums already. And he also helped me with the lyrics of I had some instrumental album in between under my own name, KALLE WALLNER. It's called Voices. It's an instrumental album, just one song with vocals. I did it together with drummer Marco Miniman. and that was my personal COVID album, if you want so. And as we finished that album, Dominik and me, we listened to the album, and after that I told him, okay, that was the challenge with the instrumental album. I think I'd like to have a new challenge, maybe lyrics first and then doing the music. And I know for millions of songwriters all over the world, this is a total normal way. But for me, as I come more from the instrumental side, when I make music, that was a total new way. And so he gave me lyrics and I wrote the music for it. So that was for me personal a new challenge, and it was I liked it a lot. Maybe that is the reason, because you know, sometimes I'm writing songs and it can happen that it will be an RPWL song in the end, or songs for other projects or whatever. But for this album, it was totally clear the lyrics are here and I make the music for it, so it will be on Blind Ego album. So the album was composed in a very short time period, and I think it's... For me, it's hard to say because I'm still in the production, still in thinking of and finalizing of an album. But I think it's a bit more compact. It's more a little bit, how can you say that? I think I was more focused in songwriting for this, especially this album. And so this is maybe a different to the albums before. And you know, Dominik, we have the same way in making lyrics. I think we both like to write our demons away from us, all the negative things away, leave it in the music, and you can live a better life if you want to. And that is quite similar to us, and we have the same taste in all the dark thoughts, and which is not autobiographic, but it's of course in your minds sometimes.
So what I'm hearing is that when it comes to your Blind Ego project, it doesn't appear to be any parameters. You've used different vocalists, you've written the music first, you've written the lyrics first, you've had, you know, you've had an instrumental album, you've got vocal albums. So it kind of gives you this unrestricted access, I would say, versus your main band, RPWL.
You know, making music in a band is always a compromise, which is totally okay for me. And sometimes I come up with an idea and it will change in a total different way. I never have planned it and never had thought of it. But this is the way how music composing in a band works, usually. And for the solo album, for the solo project, it's not that thing that I have to do all by my own, but I like to have the final decision. You know what I mean? So okay, I like it. Let's go for it. I don't like it. We find another way. And of course, even Yogi is not involved in creating something. He helps me for, hey Yogi, does the song working for you? Is this a nice melody? Do you think I have enough songs for an album? Do you? So he's always there and helps me a little bit from, you know, some opinion from outside, and that is very helpful. And but he respects that this is my thing, and I can say, okay, that is the final word for it. And you know, and for me, it's much fun to, as I said before, for me it's much fun to work with different people, especially different singers, because Yogi has not a rock voice, and sometimes I like more, you know, pedal to metal and go a bit harder and make more the music I grew up with. And so that is maybe the differences between both projects for me.
So for this album, you have vocalist Kevin KEARNS from the band. It's either CYANT or CYANT.
CYANT.
And he's got a metalcore background, but he's not doing metalcore vocals here on this album. How did he end up coming on board for this?
When I finished songwriting for this album, I recognized that I'd like to have a singer who has not that big pathos, which is happening a lot in the progressive music. I'd like to have a bit more straight, in the best sense, a singer who is a bit more rocky, who is straighter, who is he can put much more energy, and that is what I'd like to hear for the voice for the vocals of this album. So I looked around, and it was pretty hard to find somebody. I know in the US there are many good rock singers. In Germany, obviously not. So it was not easy someone to find. But a good friend of mine, she recommended Kevin and said, "Hey, don't be scared if you listen to his band, because that is metalcore, but he has a very good voice." She heard him already singing other styles, and he's a big fan of all kind of rock music, also a bit the art rock progressive thing. And check him out. And we had just a phone call, and I liked him a lot. We had very nice things in common, you know, about music, about producing, about how the vocals should be like. So we took the time, and I invited him in my studio, and we worked on the demos just to get a bit closer together. And I recognized, or we both recognized very quickly, that his voice and my music fit together very good. And so that was the final decision for me to pick him as the singer for the album. And especially the recording sessions went so good. So I'm totally happy with the result. And never thought it when I first listened to his own band, which is, it's a very good band. It sounds fantastic. It's not my it's not the style I like, not the singing style I prefer or like. But he really convinced me that he's a great singer, and the result is amazing.
You have a single out ahead of the album's release called "In the Blink of an Eye." If you want to tell me a little bit about the song, I know you didn't write the lyrics, but obviously you have a point of view on it.
Yeah, I just had the question why I released the longest song on the album as a singer. In times of Spotify, that might be a big mistake, but it doesn't matter to me really, because that is not a radio single or something for any mood playlists or so. For me, it was the song who was the best, who describes the whole album as its best. You have the dynamic, you have quiet parts, you have the energy, you have a big emotions, you have the aggressive part, you have guitar solos, and so everything is of course, I know 7 minutes. And last but not least, I had a good idea for the video, because that song is maybe a bit more realistic, because we are living right now. We're living in a world with many bad things are going on. If you look outside, you have the wars, you have the climatic disaster. And so on and so on, and so this is something, I didn't like to write a political album or something like that, but of course the situation outside makes something with you, even as an artist, when you make music, and so that is a thing. You're living in times which can be very scary, and that was the point of view for the video and for the song. And it's not really a message, but that is, for me, it's the perfect thing. The lyrics of the whole album are, it's always the point of view changes a lot. It's like the first song, Hunting Party, the title track, till the end you don't know if you are the hunter or are you hunted. That's not really clear. So and many lyrics are dealing with that point of view. And yeah, so but the best song who describes the album is, for my opinion, is A Blinker of an Eye, and I could present my new singer in his best in a best way.
Are you planning a second single from the album?
Yes, it will be released tomorrow. Tomorrow, a second song, The Stranger. It's a bit more like for me, a classic rock song, if you want so. And to be honest, my promoters like to have the song to promote some more rock radio stations, because they thought that could be a good choice. So this will be out tomorrow, and it's not far away. The album will be already out in 2 weeks. Very excited about that, looking forward. And yeah, we have a short tour in November, and we're already rehearsing, of course. Short tour, some tour dates in Germany and one in Netherlands, just to give it a restart. Let's see what's going on for next year.
You mentioned the German tour that you got coming up with a stop in the Netherlands. It starts November 20th, runs through the 24th. Your last official tour kind of got derailed by the whole pandemic. You were promoting Preaching to the Choir back then. I would imagine that was kind of devastating as a solo artist out there trying to promote your latest album, and then everything is just wiped out.
Yeah, but that was not only my situation. For all the bands and artists, that was a totally breakdown. And of course, maybe that is for me personally, that might be the reason why it took so long to make the next album, because I was not really motivated, and because we had a very good mood in this band, and yeah, we toured, we did a few tours together, and it became more and more a band at that time. And after that stop, I recognized that everybody spread away, and it was not easy to be honest. It took a while to motivate myself to make another Blind Ego album. So that might be the reason why I did this instrumental challenge in between. But yeah, that was hard. We had many festivals in this year on our roster and on our tour schedule, and already talked about some shows, maybe also in the US. We had some support slots, would have been possible at that time. Yeah, but so it was going, and yeah, so the kind of new start right now. Let's see I'm surprised what will going on with this album.
Well, you mentioned that you're rehearsing for the upcoming shows, but are there a bit of nerves since it's been about 4 years since the band took the stage last?
Yeah, but everybody's a very good musician. Everybody's very busy with other projects, so nobody's scared about to re-enter the stage. So I'm, it's always the funny thing is you never know what will happen really if you go on stage with a new lineup or some new lineup. But yeah, it's part of the game, and it's another challenge. I like that.
Do you have any plans after the November shows to play some more outside of Germany, maybe?
Yeah, we're working on some festival stuff for next year, but everybody wants to play festivals, everybody wants to play international shows, so it's not that easy, especially for a band in this level like Blind Ego right now is. It's easier for my main band, RPWL. It's quite easier, but let's see we're working on that, and finger crossed.
So tell me a little bit about this Storm concert that occurred at the Night of the Prog Festival in 2017. I'm told this was a memorable event, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it was the best weather for 3 days, and we played this, I think it was late afternoon slot at the Night of the Prog. I can't remember, was it Saturday or Sunday, but it was sunshine, fine, nice weather. But we started to play, and all the dark clouds were arriving already. And we played the song Never Escape the Storm. And in this moment, whoosh, it was a really bad weather. We could going on with the set, but it was, the promoter were not sure if we had to do a break. But we made it, and everybody was totally wet, of course. And the festival night of the Prog, there are around, I can't remember, 10, 15,000 people, and still people come to me and say, hey, I was on that concert, I've been to that concert, and we never escaped the storm. And my singer said at that time, I had to write songs about sunshine and not about storm.
You just finished up a short tour with your other band, RPWL. How did those shows go?
And it was very nice. We are touring all the time. We had, last year, we had a new album, which was quite successful, especially in Europe. We've been German album charts on rank 18. And we had a very big show, but not only in Germany, also in UK and in Middle Europe, Poland, Netherlands, And 3 weeks ago, we played a few shows in Poland, venues we've never been before. One in Prague, which was very nice. We've never been there before as well. And we've been very lucky because there was the really hard raining time all over Europe, especially in Poland, and many people lost their homes because of the big water, and so we've been lucky that we could finish the concerts. But but apart from that, it was very nice. We had many new fans. I think we got many new fans and had a good time in the tour bus. And so next year it will be more concerts of RPWL. We have a big anniversary of our, I think, maybe most successful album called World Through My Eyes, which was released already in 2005. And we have a 20th anniversary. And so we're doing some re-release and a vinyl finally. And we make a Dolby Atmos Blu-ray. So we have many things in mind and a small tour. So always busy.
Well, in addition to that 20th anniversary tour, are you guys going to be releasing a new album in 25?
I think we will produce a new album, but the release might be in 2026. It's too early. It's too tough.
So do you work on any other music projects between RPWL and Blind Ego?
Always. I'm writing, I'm producing. I have my own studio in my hometown. This is just my home office here. And that's always busy with some project, also different styles of music, a lot of pop music as well. And I like that. I like making songs work. That is what a producer should do. And I like this work, and the label is already a part of my life, Channel Out of Music. I run this label together with my RPWL mate Yogi, and so also a lot of business things to do, so it never get boring. And but I like it because it's every day is different to the day before, and I like this many different projects and different kind of works.
Before I let you go, I wanted to know how you settled on the name Blind Ego for this project.
I think if I had the chance again, I would now pick my own name. But at that time, it was not, maybe I was not self-confident enough, or maybe it was strange for me because it's the solo album of a guitarist, but he doesn't sing. So, okay, Van Halen worked as well. But, that was at that time, and that is already a long time ago, I thought Blind Ego or a project name would be much better than my own name. But maybe I don't think I would take the same choice right now.
Well, Kalle, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new Blind Ego album is out on October 18th. It's called The Hunting Party. It's out through Gentle Art of Music and Soul Food. Fantastic album, and I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about it today.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure, and hope to meet you again.
Once again, I want to thank KALLE WALLNER of Blind Ego for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their latest album, The Hunting Party, out on October 18th through Gentle Art of Music. Head over to your favorite streaming platform, take a listen to what's available. If you like what you hear, buy a physical copy, support the artist. For all things Blind Ego, head over to their official website, blind-ego.com. I also want to thank Elio Bordi of Scream for Existence PR for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. Discover your next favorite artist on the Rock is George podcast.